This is Dr. Dave Maslach, and today I wanted to talk to you about my new peer proofreading and editing platform, reciprocity.com. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also um, check it out if you want. Just click at the link at the end of this video. But today what I wanted to talk to you about was some of the behavioral thoughts that I wanted to build into this system. And one of them was actually having performance metrics that are based on editing and writing, that are performance metrics that are sort of common, that are already in MS Word. But I wanted to actually show you the motivations of actually sort of quantifying and make things quantifiable within that platform. And the main motivation, I'm a research professor, and I study behavioral strategy and organizational learning within organizations. So I'm in businesses, and one of one of the main sort of pushes within this paradigm is looking at performance and how we measure performance. So we study how performance improve within businesses, and one of the interesting aspects that we framework is looking at the aspirations and expectations and how we measure our current performance relative to those aspirations or expectations. So what is an aspiration? Well, this is a goal that we have in the future of where we want to be, what we want our performance to be. So a few years ago, I actually used this framework, and this is what one reason why I got excited with developing or putting this into the reciprocity is I used this behavioral framework to lose about 30 pounds, actually. And it was very, very easy to do. What I actually did, how I lost it was roughly about 30 pounds, was that I actually started tracking my weight. So this was just after I had my second kid, or my wife had her second kid. And as you know, you do gain a little bit of weight when you are a guy and you go through the sort of pregnancy process with your wife. And I had gained some weight, and I wanted to lose. I wanted to, to be back to my weight that I was in my undergraduate during my undergraduate, so when I was in my early 20s. And what I did is I started tracking. I got a good scale, or a moderate scale, a digital scale, and I started putting my weight within an Excel spreadsheet. And I also, on that digital scale, there was also a percentage of body fat that I can track as well. So I started tracking those things, and every day, that's the only thing that I aimed to do, was just to track my weight. That was my goal. And what had happened over time, it actually started to become a contest because I was tracking my weight. So this is the Excel spreadsheet that I had. And I started tracking other things. Um, you know, Body weight was definitely one of them, but looking at sort of cumulative and doing, weight projections of where I was going to be, and doing all sorts of different things. I'm an engineer in my background, so I'm curious about numbers. Um, and then I started actually tracking, the times that I worked out, and I could sort of track to see, what was the performance improvement when I did legs, for example, and in chest. So I lost, more weight when I did legs and chest, when I worked out in legs and chest, than I did with working out, doing back and shoulders, for example. I also started tracking, did I eat poorly the day before? Did I have a lot of salt? And it turned out, actually, the days that I ate a lot of salt, also the days that I didn't get enough calories, so I ate kind of poorly, or I thought there was like things like, taco salad, for example, things that didn't have a lot, a lot of substance to it. I actually ended up doing poor in terms of weight loss in the following few days. Days that I felt terrible, so I didn't get enough sleep, I had a significant amount of, I actually did perform worse. So what the really interesting thing is, we all know that, and I want to show you the graph of what my weight loss looked like, right? So you can see over time that there was definitely, in terms of body fat and as well as weight, there was this decrease. So it was roughly, what, 100 I was over 180 pounds. This is after I started tracking this shortly in, after I was losing a little bit of weight. But you could see there was definitely a motivation. And you could see this nice curve. And so this was, I think it was about 2014 when I started doing this. So I'm still about 160 pounds. So I was able to keep that off. And what it did by tracking just simple performance, what it did, it allowed me to make tweaks along the way. So it allowed me to do very, very simple tweaks. So the first one I remember that I did was I just didn't eat after 9 o'clock at night, which was, it was significant enough, but it was, it was doable. And then I remember I sort of cut out alcohol, or cut back on alcohol, and eventually sort of cut it out altogether. Now I just sporadically drink alcohol. Um, but you could see that there is this very, very nice curve. And then the reason why there is this nice curve in terms of weight loss, and the reason why I stuck with it in terms of motivation, and you can see this is what my natural probably weight is right here. The motivation behind it was actually really, it was very easy, because there was this performance metric that I was keeping track of over time. And I knew exactly how to, I could sort of measure whether I was doing well or not. So I wanted to build this into reciprocity, and that's why there's sort of quantifiable statistics in there that you can measure over time. You can, number of words, for example, that you're submitting, and I wanted to quantify it. So over time you could track how well you're doing as a editor, and make it sort of observable that, maybe that there are days that your document gets worse, maybe it gets better, but over time you want to sort of see progress. So that's it today, and I wanted to show this because I think it's kind of really interesting. It sort of frames what I was trying to do with reciprocity, and why I think it's actually so powerful to start building in some of these it says behavioral research that we know within a platform like this. So anyways, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you like this, you think it's interesting, you can go on to Reciprocity. You can check it out. Maybe you want to play around on there. But anyways, have a good day. Bye.